Good afternoon, and as you join us in Pembroke this Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, for this Tillain Cup game, Pembroke seconds hosting Clontarf seconds. These sides met only last weekend, I believe, when Pembroke came through victorious. They'll be hoping for the same again. It's a T20 today, and we'll see how things progress. Pembroke won the toss and have decided that they'd like to bat first. They're going to set a target and try and defend it. Try and defend it against the all-comers of Clontarf. It's a slightly overcast day today. It's still a bit chilly. We're talking about 6-7 degrees with the breeze. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Have a good game. Three members of the second 11 walking past the broadcast area. Well, the umpires are ready in the middle. They're both facing over to the right-hand side, just off your screen there. The Clontarf side having their last-minute huddle. And as the Clontarf side take to the field, I can tell you that it was Pembroke that won the toss and decided to bat first. And for a Sunday afternoon, it's quite overcast until you remember that we are indeed still in April the 28th. And there you have the names and the similar hairstyles of the Pembroke 11. A few names, new names there for our regular watchers. Mark Berry has joined us this season, Zach McCabe another. And then the others, and Sam Murphy, of course, who's joined us from Mullingar. Now, a number of the other names, of course, would be familiar to our regular watchers. And here is the Clontarf second side. And there's some names in there that, well, plenty of first 11 experience. Amir Dutt, Paul Ryan, Andrew Pointer, Andrew Delaney. Plenty of players on that side with first 11 experience. And this could be a tough game for Pembroke from the off. And you see from our live scoring just coming up, with many thanks to Graham Mooney, who's providing that service. He's today's second 11 scorer, and it will be Thompson from the nursery end to open up. And facing the first ball will be Dermot Tucker. His batting partner, D. Hogan. And we're just seconds away from the beginning of this game now, where Pembroke will be looking to impose themselves on the Clontarf bowlers. The Clontarf bowlers will be looking to rattle over those stumps. This one bounces twice on its way through to the keeper. Dot ball to start with. These two, Tucker and Hogan, of course, also have plenty of first 11 experience. That one very wide outside the off stump. It's been signalled wide by the umpire, and it goes to the boundary. 5 onto the board for Pembroke. And that one just did not get up at all. Left the wicketkeeper with much to do, and he couldn't get a hand on it. And it ran through, down to the boundary, straight behind him, and Pembroke move on to 5. One thing about these April cricket is we have seen plenty of extras as players, I suppose, get acclimatised again. Well, that's a super delivery from Thompson. That one hit the in line of the off stump and then just moved away. Tucker did well not to lay a bat onto that. So 2 balls of the first over passed. Just those 5 extras on the board so far. Haven't seen bat on ball, and now we do. Fielder on the fence on the offside. One of the few Clontarf outfielders. They have a fielder down at third man just in front of our commentary box. They have another out in the covers, just at the end of Cyril's way. But nobody out on the leg side, just the 2 out in this power play. Hogan just letting his first delivery go through. It is a little chilly today, the flag being stretched out. Bit of a breeze coming across from the west. Conor McElhenney is the umpire at the nursery end. There you see the Pembroke flag front and centre, flying proudly. As Thompson comes in now for the final ball of his first over. Well, that one flies away off the edge of the bat. You may have heard a call of catch it. It wasn't there to be caught, and it flies away to the boundary. And Pembroke, at the end of the first over, move on to 10. And how happy they'd be if they could continue that throughout the innings. 10 off the first over from Thompson. And we go into the second. Two batsmen just conferring at the end of the over. We haven't seen anything too much. Thompson was getting a bit of movement off the pitch. Hogan practicing that shot that he loves. Well, the batsman asking for the sight screen to be moved. And as you can see, that's put us just slightly off centre. Niall doing his technical wizardry. Not quite straight enough for DRS, but straight enough for us and our viewers. Wow, there's a good bit of swing there. Gilhooly it is from the St John's end. He's getting that ball to dip and come back in at the right-hander. He'll want to get this exactly right, because anything he's moving that far is going to be there to be hit, and he hits this one. And Tucker picks up his first boundary, so that's a boundary for extras, a boundary for Hogan, and a boundary for Tucker. And Pembroke now 14 without loss. Off to a flyer here, and what are Clontarf are going to be able to do to peg this back? How they'd love it to take an early wicket here. And this time Tucker goes dead straight down the ground, and he picks up a second boundary off the third ball of the over. Already 8 off this over, and we're only halfway through it. Tucker has decided to take on the swing bowling of Gilhooly. And he's already forced a change in the field. Mid-on has gone back to long on. Well, one feels the fielder, the bowler will be disappointed, but the fielder also, he came in off the rope and it ended in 4. He was too far in. He had a chance at that one. And the bowler will be a bit disappointed, but that's 3 4s in the over. And Tucker, well, he's here for fun today. Gets him off 13, moves him on to 14, off just 8 deliveries. And Gil Hooley will be delighted, having only gone for a single. 13 from 5 balls now.
Come on, Leo! Come on the line!
Is it Danny or Dermot I have to slap? For what the side screen?
Oh, it was Dermot. Dermade.
Go to the effort of getting it straight. And then move there.
This one just popped up on the leg side. Hogan is looking for 2, but the fielder, hearing the call, came racing in from the boundary. Must have covered 30, 35 yards just to make sure there was no chance of a second. And that is the end of the second over, and Pembroke now have moved on to 24 without loss. And what a start. Well, fireworks today, that's for sure. Both of these batsmen, of course, will be wanting to stake a claim should any spot appear on the first 11. First 11 having a super win yesterday. 190-odd run win in the first Premiership game. And Thompson to continue now from that nursery end. Hogan chasing a wide one. He looks to the umpire to see if he's actually even asking the question out loud now. Was that not a wide? Well, not when you get that close to it. Well, that one certainly outside the blue line. Umpire deciding to leave that one. And a very good afternoon to you, James. Thank you for joining us, along with the 11 other devices that are currently watching. Well, Hogan taking a big hoik at that one. The angle of the ball coming across into him and doing its best to pick up that inside edge of that flailing bat. Hogan certainly doesn't want Thompson to settle. He's had 3 dots here. And now Hogan gets after it. That crashes into the fence, and Pembroke here are dealing in boundaries. This is proper T20 batting. They'll take the single when it's offered, but if there's anything loose, well, they're onto it straight away. As I say, both of these batsmen will be looking to put their names forward for promotion to the first 11. If required. Another big swing and miss from Hogan. He does like going straight. Thought that was the one to go for. Didn't quite get down the right line. Pardon? Well, down in Pembroke, I can inform you that the fourth 11 are playing County Wicklow. And they're currently trying to defend a score of 1-2-4. The outfield tends not to be particularly fast in Pembroke. So we'll see how things go. In reply, Wicklow County 18 for 2 off 6 overs, chasing that 1-2-4. Nicely driven down the ground. Thompson's over, just going for that 1-4 that Hogan planted over the offside. Pembroke have already taken 2 wickets there down in Presbury. Oh, that's a lovely shot down on one knee, lifted over towards the clubhouse. That may have taken out a spectator or two. And here is the first replay of the day, as one of my co-commentators, Baseball Charlie, would say. The umpire very definitely signalling a touchdown for that one. 6 points onto the board. Pembroke are racing away here. Gilhooly, he's gone for 21 in just 8 deliveries. Thompson has been tight enough. No, just while they're looking for a ball or the ball, you wouldn't just stick up the bowling figures so far. We'll just compare the 2 Clontarf openers. And there you go. Thompson looking positively miserly at 7 and over, having gone for 14 off 2. And with that 6 yet to be recorded by the scorers, well, Pembroke could find themselves very quickly at a run rate in double figures. Live scorer still hasn't quite caught up. Scoreboard reflecting the true position, 35 without loss off just 20 deliveries. Hogan again with the big swing. He's looking to deposit this one in the next county. It won't be long, I feel, before we see the day when there are actually pram races around the perimeter of Pembroke Cricket Club at the moment. Young Balbirnie being taken on lap after lap by Grandad Ashley. Currently heading up Cyril's way. Few spectators in with us today. A few have made the journey across the city. Single for Hogan, just pushed down the ground. Gilhooly now with just 1 ball remaining in this, his second over. It's not been the start he or his captain would have wanted or envisaged. Tries to go short, goes wide and is signalled as such. Well, the head whipped round. He knew it was a possibility when he let go, so the disappointment that he showed when he saw the wide being given, well, if he hadn't thought it was a wide one, felt his head wouldn't have come around to see what the umpire was going to signal. Nicely bowled onto the stumps, this time just dug out by Tucker. They'll just take the single. That will conclude the over. And with 4 overs gone now, Pembroke have moved on to 38 without loss. Well, this is a fabulous start for Pembroke. They'll be delighted with this. No wickets down, run rate up at 9.5, and both batsmen on 16. And looking to get after Thompson again. Just making some small adjustments to the field before he commences his over. Bringing third man up. And pushing mid off back to long off to protect that, the shortest boundary in Sydney Parade. Tucker now, having seen that third man has come into the circle, is eyeing up that gap. You can see by the way he played that shot, he's just looking to guide it down to us here at the broadcast area. Umpire signals wide. We'll have to have that one again. Thompson actually hasn't bowled too badly. You have to remember that 6 of those 15 at least have come from extras rather than off the bat. It was he that got the ball rolling for Pembroke really with those 5 wides in the first over. And this one carved away on the offside. The fielder is there, the sweeper comes round, gets it back in, but can't prevent the single being taken. Another one carved away on the offside. This one beats the fielder and crashes into the fence. 4 more for Hogan, 4 more for the total. Captain Joe Prendergast on the sidelines must be absolutely delighted now. Well, you heard, you heard on the ground mics. Oh, how did that miss? Well, he's quite right. It wasn't far away. Bounced around the off stump and then, having got past the flailing bat of Hogan, just missed the leg stump by, well, a gap measured in millimetres. And this time Hogan goes big. And that's another touchdown. 6 more. Hogan just lifting that on the offside, using the pace of the ball. And it had enough on it with the wind behind it to sail over the boundary. Pembroke move on to 49. And this, well, definitely the most expensive of Thompson's overs. 11 from it so far. Hogan goes again, this time to the exact opposite, middling this one out towards Cal. It's Pointer that's after it. They'll take 2, and they'll take 2 quite handily. And that brings up the 50 for Pembroke in this, the 5th over. Well, this is the shot where Hogan puts behind square on the offside, really readjusted, and that's the 4.
I thought I'd replace that with the 6, obviously not.
Oh well, these things happen. Yep, it's a replay. It gives the Clontarf players a chance to get to their new fielding positions. It gives the Pembroke batsmen chance to get to where they should be. Cracked away on the offside. There is a sweeper out there. Throws it back with the same speed that had arrived out to him. Thompson now 3 overs, 0 for 28 from the nursery end. Gilhooly it is bowling his third from the St John's end of the ground, just as Danny Hogan refastens the gloves. Lovely, lovely day. And a lovely, lovely shot along the ground all the way, down on one knee, swept it round the corner, and that's a super shot. And Hogan is in a hurry in 20 balls now. He has, or in 19 balls, he has moved on to 32. Gilhooly is going at over 12 and over at the moment. Over 2 a ball. Well, Hogan is chasing everything now, and why wouldn't he? He's got his eye in, and he has very much got his eye in. He's found the boundary on a few occasions now. And although he missed the occasional one and may have ridden his luck a little bit, it runs out eventually. It does on that one with a full toss crashing into the top of off stump. And Hogan departs for 32 from just 21 deliveries, and Pembroke are 57 for 1 in this, the 6th and final over of the power play. Well, you can see Hogan here. He's looking for another one to take out of the ground. Comes down the track, misses on height completely. It rattles in. Rattles into off stump. Well, Hogan will be disappointed at missing the full toss.
Just the wind blowing it in a bit.
Yeah. And the replacement for Danny Hogan is Joe Captain Prendergast. JP was in the nets on Wednesday, saw him knocking the, Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday, perhaps. Saw him middling plenty that day. Let's hope he can do it when there are fielders on the ground. Takes his middle guard, sets up. Well, his openers have given him perfect platform. Partnership of 57 before Danny Hogan departed. And Dermot Tucker hasn't really had the strike recently. Joe playing that one with a straight bat.
Well done, Gilly lad. Come on, boys.
Getting the movement back off the seam and then swinging away slightly, it seemed. Beautiful delivery. This one's gone down the leg side. It will run away. There is a fielder there, so it will prevent any further runs. But a wide is signalled for that, and quite rightly. This time Prendergast lifts him over the fence onto Cyril's way. 6 runs and Prendergast is underway. Pembroke move on to 64 for 1. And that is the over. Well, this was a lovely shot from Prendergast. Got into position nice and early, saw it and then just lifted it around. Niles Coffey, Miles Coffey in some danger. Seven overs gone now. Oh, sorry, 6 overs gone. That is the end of the power play. You'll see a few more Clontarf fielders heading out to the safety of the boundary. And there will be a change of bowling from the nursery end. Thompson does still have 1 over left, but he took a bit of tap in that over, that final over, the third of his spell. So whether the captain's idea was always to go to spin after the power play, or whether his hand has been forced by the batsman, we don't know. And it's Paul Ryan now to come on from the nursery end. Very experienced cricketer with Clontarf. Well, first ball. Dermot Tucker just eyeing up the bowling. Saw it was wide and went after it. Wasn't able to contact on that occasion. That one, there's a little bit of swing and dip. And he's got a wicket. He's put one up there. Tucker couldn't contain his enthusiasm. Played a cross-bat shot, took the bottom edge, crashed into the stumps, and Pembroke are now 2 down with 64 on the board. Here is that wicket. Tucker cramped a bit for room, tried to open up the front leg, pull across it. All he could do was crash it into his own stumps, and he departs with the score on 64. It could be that turning to spin is Clontarf's way back into this game. 2 wickets in 2 overs now. And Ryan picks one up with his 3rd delivery, yet to go for a run. And to face him for the remainder of this over, new batsman McDarragh Cosgrave. Ryan now, he's certainly doing the job for his skipper, pegging Pembroke back. They had been going along at 9.5 and over. It's pushed through. And a single taken. Is it hot? Discussions about the coffee in the broadcast area. And Joe just nicely saw that one very early, has played it down to the railway boundary. There is a fielder there. They will keep it to 2, but Prendergast showing the intent to continue the way his openers had started for him. And after 7 overs and a very good over for Ryan, 1 for 3 from his 6 deliveries, the score now has moved on to 67 for 2. And I suspect you're going to see the pitch move as my director, Mr. Niall Walsh, our technical guru, is now moving the sight screen by a few millimetres. He's not quite there yet, but he's moved it across a stump anyway. Change of bowling at the St John's end as well now for Clontarf as they seek to continue the good work of Ryan and try to peg back this Pembroke assault, as you can see at the top of your screen, just going past the sight screen. Ashley Balburney on another lap. Is it they're being called as grandparents? Pop and Candy. That's very good. So it's Swift who is coming on to bowl at the St John's end. Well, he has the run up for his surname. Let's see what actually comes out of his hand. Played away on the leg side down to long leg. The underarm throw, accurate. Brings Joe Prendergast back on strike, and it may be that McDarragh is doing exactly the right thing, which is, well, Joe's in this mood, give him as much of the strike as possible, just play yourself in, take your singles. It's high, it's very high, he's got underneath it, there's 2 or 3 players converging and he's missed it. Misjudged, just found himself a foot away from where he wanted to be, couldn't get to it, and Prendergast survives. It's a chance. Clontarf be heartened by the fact that the strike wasn't as clean as it may have been. And as the fielders converged, well, did they put each other off? Short one played away on the offside on this occasion, slapped in front of square. The boundary rider does pick it up, does save 2 runs, but can't prevent Dara adding 2 to his total, and he's now 4 of 4.
Fielders are all back hoping something happens for you. Otherwise they're really
Hit straight back down the ground, the fielder trying to get to it, and he does a super job. Liam Gulhuli there doing a great job for his bowler Swift. Made a lot of ground, committed to the dive and got there. Nice piece of fielding, nice cricket all round. This one cut away on the offside. The boundary rider's got a lot of ground to make up, and he can't cut it off this time. It reaches the rope first, 4 more onto the total, and all of a sudden, this over's 8 runs. And still a delivery to come. Prendergast is moving along, scoring at 260 at the moment. 13 off just 5 deliveries. Dara, in contrast, 5 off 5. Certainly Prendergast is going after the bowling today.
Oh, yes. Good? I see you more than telling these days.
World famous celebrity, what can I say?
How's Henry keeping?
He's great, he's great, he's on the wall there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's free to send them off. My job is
Easy, Chris.
Prendergast picks up another single. And here is the replay of this chance for Clontarf and a life for Joe Prendergast. Bottom hand coming off the bat. He wanted to play it straight. Instead it screwed off square of the wicket, mid-wicket, and the fielder just a yard out of place. And whether the presence of his 2 teammates made him hesitate, either way, Joe Prendergast survived, and he's out there still. But it's McDara Cosgrave now to face as Pembroke are 78 for 2 after 8 overs. Yeah, there could have been a bit of the wind. It certainly wasn't the sun in his eyes. That's the one thing you can't say. Too many clouds for that today, but a bit of sun coming through at the moment. Yeah, but the angle it came down and the angle he was running at, the sun was never a problem. Ryan to continue now. Prendergast getting his hands across, punching that one back down the pitch almost. Real battle of wills here. Prendergast determined to keep the scoring rate high. Ryan has done a super job so far. 7 deliveries, just 3 runs. This time, played away on the offside. The field is well set for that. Ryan has the experience to have the fielders in the right place. This time, played away. Fielder went for the one-handed pickup. Didn't make any difference. Pembroke weren't going to take a second, that was for sure, and they were safely home for the first. It certainly seems that spin's posing far more of a threat than the 3 seamers used so far. Sounds like a very small private plane. Must be nearby, judging from the headphones. Practically overhead. Even there, the experience of Ryan telling the fielder not to chuck it, not to chuck it hard. The batsman was going to be safely back. Well, Ryan has gone for 4 in his 2 overs, which means the other 3 bowlers have gone for 75 from 7 overs. Many thanks to the 22 of you who have tuned your devices into Pembroke Cricket Live this afternoon. It's been entertaining start from Pembroke. Well, they shot out of the starting blocks, Hogan and Tucker. Put on 57 for the first wicket. Captain Joe Prendergast has come in at 3 and has pretty much continued in the same vein. You see he's moved on to 16 from just 10 deliveries. McDara Cosgrave, a bit more circumspect, but still only takes 1 shot here and he'll be going at a runner ball. Looking at stats the other day from our YouTube channel, it turns out that approximately, as this one is carved away, a round point, they get a single and nothing more. Turns out that 2/3 of our viewers are not subscribed to this channel. Be great if you could. The more likes and subscribes, the better. Big swing from Prendergast on this occasion. The last time we saw a big swing like that, it had Danny Hogan holding the willow.
Sophie lad.
Another big swing across the line. Not getting it on this occasion. Well, they take the quick run. Half-hearted appeal on the run out. They may get through for the quick single. Another one, the batsman's got underneath. Another one that's going to find the turf. A little puff of sand comes up as Liam Guhuli couldn't quite get to it. And another single onto the total for Pembroke. Just 4 off that over. A much more successful over for Swift. But still, Pembroke 83 for 2. At the halfway stage. Question now, of course. How many are Pembroke going to end up with? You'd think with a start of 80, they might be able to put another 100 on. As Ryan comes in for his 3rd over. No reason to change the bowling at that end at the moment. Just 4 runs and that 1 wicket of Tucker. Good length, hit straight back at the bowler. No, no. Again, trying to play this one with power. Only getting the bottom half of the bat. And running with no real power back to the bowler. Builds the frustration within McDarrett. Just that little bit more. Tries to give himself some room. Plays it away on the offside. Gets it through the ring. But the covering fielder is there. 1 more onto the total. Prendergast realising he was in the wrong place for the shot he wanted to play. Ends up just patting it back to the bowler. This one on the stumps and played away on the leg side. No great drama for either team there. Well, that concludes the 11th over. The score has moved on to 84 for 2. Joe Prendergast, captain of the second 11. He's on 17. McDarrett Cosgrave, he's on 8. And now with 8 wickets still in the hutch, one would feel that both of these players are going to look to take on the bowling in a manner reminiscent of the openers a mere 3/4 of an hour ago. Comes down the track, plays it through on the offside. Gilhulia will do the fielding. They'll pick up 2. And you can see the intent is there now with the Pembroke batsman. Not that it hasn't been all the way through this innings. having dealt with 3 overs of Paul Ryan's off spin. But we'll really be looking to push on for these remaining 8.5 overs. We just have one of the Clontarf fielders has gone down heavily on his hip. Gets the hip moving again. He's in a bit of pain there. Not a tremendous amount of sympathy from his teammates, and he's hobbling badly. He seems to have bruised his hip there. Whether it was taking a blow or just gravity and the ground. Swift goes a bit short. He's pulled into the leg side. They take one. Misfield allows them to trot home for the second. And although the throw is accurate, the batsman was so safely home, his house was not made of straw. Swift into his 3rd over now. His second far more successful than the first. Play down the ground again. Just it is was the fielding. Big swing. He was, well, that's the shot you should have played. Yes, Joe. And when he practices afterwards, perfect. The shot he actually played was a bit more baseballish. He's got hold of this one, though. He's lifted that one well over the fence. And by the fence, I mean into the gardens. 6 more runs. And Pembroke, well, they get not only into the 90s, but halfway into the 90s. Captain Joe, as soon as he saw this was on his pads, he was after it. He knew exactly where he wanted to put it. And it's gone a long way back there. Nice shot. 95 on the board now. And is that total of 200 for the first innings? Is that too ambitious? Are we due a Pembroke? Oh, slower ball. He watched it very carefully. There is a fielder down there. He makes sure it's safely taken for a single. Well, that's a nice shot. Just waited on it and then lifted it round the corner. They got 1 off the last ball of the over, 12 from the over in total, and 96 for 2. Eight overs remaining now. Going along at a nice run rate of 8, which would get them up to 160 if they continued at this rate. There's our batting card so far. As you can see, everyone's got in. Nobody's hung around. 9 extras from 12 overs. That's quite promising. And unsurprisingly, it will be Paul Reynolds to finish his... Paul Ryan to finish his... Thank you. To finish his spell. His 4th over from the nursery end. Yes, sorry, I had Paul Reynolds on the mind because yesterday, of course, all cricket matches began with a minute's silence. Ryan has this one right on middle stump. Prendergast doing nothing but keeping that one out, that was for sure. Ryan hasn't really given anything too loose in this spell. It seems like Joe Prendergast isn't willing to take any risks against him either. He knows how accurate this bowling is. Knows it's probably worth just seeing him out at this stage. Waiting for the bad ball. And he's given him LBW. Well, it was a case of frustration for Prendergast. I thought he was more than willing just to see Ryan off in his last over. Instead, he went down and played across the line, trying to sweep him down to square leg. But on this occasion, it wasn't to be. Wrapped in on the pad and didn't really leave the umpire much choice. Have a look at this again yourself. It certainly looked out in real time. Pitches in line, hits him in line, and is going on to hit the stumps. That's what my DRS is telling me. Third down, 96 on the board. Another good partnership. Again, another batsman getting in and not really going on all the way. That speeding blur across your screen was Ashley Balbirnie completing lap number 6. Oh, I suppose, yeah. Dara Cosgrove now, of course, finds himself in the position as senior partner. He's the one who's underway. He's on 13 off 16. And new to the crease, left-hander Zach McCabe. Immediately he sees the left-hander. Well, Ryan has gone around the wicket. And they're going to move the other side screen. Oh no, he's telling Pembroke to send some players down in case the side screen needs moving. Actually brightening up into a lovely day now. Patches of blue sky mixed in with the Simpsons white cloud. And Zach McCabe to face his first delivery from bowler Ryan. It's played away on the offside past the infielder. Simple single. And now the sight screen has to move again. It's the right-handed Cosgrave. Gets it put right for him. Played back down the ground, another dot ball. And Ryan with just one ball left in his spell. Figures of 2 for 6 as it stands. Well, make that 2 for 7. Super spell, 4 overs. Just the 6 runs conceded. 7 runs conceded. So over 9 overs. The rest of the bowling attack has conceded 91. Not ideal.
Butler, are you going to stay out with bow?
Change of bowling now from the St John's end. That one's played down to long on, off. And they'll just pick up a single as the ball gets returned to the keeper. Don't forget there are microphones next to you there. They're very sensitive. They're designed to pick. They're No. New bowler from the St John's End, C. Butler. And McKay plays him away nicely towards square leg. And they pick up a nice single there. I could hear the dog panting more than anything else. Big swing of the bat, makes some contact this time. But there is a fielder there and it's just another single. We haven't seen a boundary from Pembroke for a while now. Turning it down so our sight screen movers aren't being recorded for your pleasure. Okay, drives at this one quite nicely. Fielder in to save the single. Does exactly what his captain wants. Exactly the right job. Slower ball down the leg side. Good effort from Butler. Sensible idea. Our sight screen movers moving away from the ground mics. Clipped away on the leg side. There'll certainly be two here. They'll just trot through for the second. Both agreed that two's enough. And that concludes Butler's first over, and 6 runs it's cost him and his team. And Pembroke have moved into triple figures, 104 for 3, with 6 overs to go. Even a runner ball is going to get them up to 140. Clontarf have pegged that run rate back a bit, no small part to the bowling of Ryan. Yeah, another change of bowling. Clontarf captain certainly not afraid to throw the ball around today. Well, the story of the game so far, Pembroke got off to an absolute flyer. An opening stand of 57. Since then, they've sort of lost wickets regularly whilst trying to keep the run rate up. It's dropped under 7.5 and over now. At one stage, it was up at 9.5. And Dutt it is to bowl from the nursery end. That one, just one bounce into the fielder's hands. Yeah, there's going to be much moving of sight screen.
Move that one as much as they want.
Big swing through square leg from McCabe. They run the first one relatively quickly, although the ball has beaten all the fielders, made it to the boundary, and that's what Pembroke need. They need to start finding the rope again. Just as they started this innings finding the rope, they should really be looking to finish it out the same way. Still 7 wickets in hand, still some big bats in the clubhouse. And that should give these two a licence to chase after deliveries now. Cut away on the offside, despairing dive by one fielder, meaning that Swift has to go all the way out to the railway line to fetch it. And 2 more onto the total. Pembroke now 1-1-1 for those of you who are in nervous disposition. The 1-1-1 of Nelson. This time Nelson is nothing more than a distraction as the target, as the total moves very rapidly onto 112 without incident. Again, just clubbed away on the offside, just a single taken. This is tidy enough over. Slight screen moves again with McCabe now facing. Final ball of the over. Well, that one onto the roof of the clubhouse and down the laneway. Another 6 takes the score onto 119 for 3. And McCabe, well, it hadn't been a bad over before this, but finally he gets hold of one and it lands and bounces on the roof. Simon Heaney, fortunate not to have another ball landing in his garden. And what looked like quite a good over at one stage, well, 15 off it in the end with that 6 at the end. Just 30 balls remaining now. Run rate has crept above 7.5 again. I was not surprised when you take 15 off and over. We'll have a look at the Worm and the Manhattan at the innings break. And I'm sure that over will stand out somewhat. Big hoik at that, goes through to the keeper. You can see Pembroke are now searching for the fence. And the little breeze from the west is picking up a bit now. There may be showers today, but at the moment the ground looks beautiful. Splendid in its scene. You see there the coloured bushes against the wall. Pembroke flag fluttering in this breeze. And shadows all over the ground. Lovely Sunday afternoon, peaceful quiet, the occasional dog barking, bird tweeting. Pint glass. Well bowled by Butler. Not giving McCabe any space. Cramping him up. They just take the single. Brings McDarragh back on strike. Slight change in the field. Mind you, if McDarragh middles it, it doesn't matter how many people you put back on the fence. He doesn't middle it, it goes around. And it's a beautiful catch. It's Ryan again. It's a one-man show for Clontarf here. What a catch. He made a lot of ground. Took it in one hand, and that's the end of McDarragh Cosgrave. No celebration. Ryan just wants his side to get on with it. You see here the big swing and the bit of movement meant it was just a top edge. Ryan is making ground all the time, goes up one hand, puts the dive in, and comes up safely with the catch. Fourth wicket falls, 1-2-1 on the board. Butler picks up his first wicket. And the new batsman, well, not a bad man to have coming in at 6 at the moment. He's in form. He's notched a Good few runs in the opening weeks of the season. And he starts off just laying a bat on one down the leg side, pushes it out to mid-wicket, takes his single, and gets McCabe back on strike. Well, that was a good change from McCabe. He was going to play one shot and then realised it wasn't there for it. So just kept that one out. It's the end of another over. 4 to go. Pembroke on 122. Well, with 4 overs to go, what is realistic for them here? The 160 that looked so promising earlier on seems to have slipped by.
Over in a T20 off the last 4.
Are they going to get it though? I mean, they're certainly going to have to go for it, but it just seems the whole game seems to have just taken a breath at the moment. Perhaps this will be the 4 overs of assault, GBH by the Pembroke batsman. Again, just played nicely away on the offside. They'll get through for a single, no damage really done. Clontarf would be happy if Pembroke spent these 24 balls just picking up 24 singles. Pembroke must be looking to go big, to go long. You'd think somebody would give them a hand.
Is it still down?
And he goes big on this one. He's pulled it out towards the clubhouse. The fielder is there. It's Ryan. Saves 3 runs by himself. And there's, if you're looking for a star of the match thus far, certainly from a Clontarf point of view, Ryan would be it. 4 very tidy overs, 2 wickets for just 7 runs. A lovely one-handed catch. And now some good boundary riding. Done for length on this occasion. Umpire signals wide anyway. Takes that one on the full, plays it round the corner on the leg side. The fielder is chasing after it. It's the poor lad who hurt his hip earlier, and you can see he's still not right. He's running a little lame there from his position in the ring, chasing that one down, unable to stop it crossing the boundary. And that's what Pembroke need now.
Watch out for the mics there, Joe.
Huh?
Look at the mics.
Gets onto this one now, pulls it in front of square. Just be another single as Swift gets the ball back into the keeper very quickly. Nice accurate throw.
No, you weren't gone. You want to do that, you can stand down here and have a dance.
This time McCabe, well, he's clubbed that one straight down the ground, but the fielder is there. Well, feels perhaps in a couple of months' time that will hit the turf and skid off into the wall.
I thought that was gone.
But on this occasion, enough was taken out of it to let the fielder get round and prevent the boundary. And that's important from a Clontarf point of view. Last ball of the over now. Pembroke into the 130s. This again played around on the leg side. It's going to be another boundary. I can't see the fielder getting there. It really is putting the effort in, and he has got there. That's tremendous work. He's not feeling the greatest in that hip, and yet he still managed to chase that one down and save what could be, at the end of the game, a precious run.
Guess the replay. First ball.
Clubbed out Ryan he's already shown us his athletic ability with the one-handed catch, and on this occasion doing enough to save the boundary, and that was 3 runs saved. So you can see Pembroke has sort of left 4 runs this over, and it's still a good over for them. 12 coming from it. Dutt's figures 0 for 27 off 2. Now Butler, his 2 overs have only gone for 9 runs. He picked up a wicket with that athletic catch by Ryan. And he'll be continuing now from the St John's end. And Dan Murray. Well, this one slides down the leg side. Murray tries to catch it up, was unable to do so. It gets signalled as a wide. No, he signalled wide first. Just coming up to 3:15 now. Hour and a quarter to bowl. 18 overs. We'll say, well, 17 overs really. It's a slow rate. One wonders if the umpires in the Tillain Cup are required to keep an eye on the overs bowled per hour. Well, that's straight away a decision. Murray playing around that one, trying to pull it out into cow corner. And on this occasion, it rattled into his pads, and the umpire's finger went up exceptionally quickly. It did look fairly adjacent. I think Murray himself realised he was in trouble once he hadn't got anything on it. Butler picking up his 2nd wicket, and well, that's almost what don't I thought you were going to kick it over the gazebo then. A 2nd wicket for Butler, he'll be delighted, and really Murray, no one to blame but himself, no bat involved, and all he was doing was blocking the ball's passage through to the stumps. Sam Murphy now coming in, and we have a situation we haven't had in Pembroke that I can remember for quite a while. 2 left-handers.
This bowler is behaving.
Sam Murphy, well, he'll be coming out with just one instruction in mind, I suspect.
I had lots of reviews of Van Dijk being reviewed for retained legs, but I've been feeling very optimistic dry up.
Umpires conferring, they're talking about the bat. They want something taped up or untaped or changed. The bat has to be changed.
Old style of legal, maybe?
Hmm?
Doesn't look big enough to be done by the Chinese laws.
Well, strange one, but there you go. Don't often see that. So Sam Murphy to start. Clips away on the leg side, down to square leg. It should be just a single, and that's all it is. Neat, clean pick up by the fielder. The score moves on again. Good crowd building up here down the wall now. And a recent survey, a certain percentage of our viewers are actually sitting on the wall at the time, as that one is played beautifully out. No fielder's going to get in the way of that, and it runs away for 4. I suppose that's the best way to describe that. Left-hander's cow corner. Okay, but, well, he's doing a super job for the Pembroke seconds at the moment. 25 from just 15 deliveries. Well, he's going to make that a couple more anyway, if not 4 more. The fielder desperately trying to get round to it. He kicks it. He's having to follow it around again, and in fact, he's kicked it over the boundary 20 yards away from where he first made contact. 4 more onto the total, 4 more to McCabe, and he's decided he's seen enough. 2 4s in a row. A wicket may have fallen in this over, but 12 runs have been added by Pembroke, and that's the important figure at this stage.
One ball to save that replay being shown. Yes, that replaced the 4.
Oh, it's a quick call through. Goes for the stumps, and he's not out. He was well home. You could see that quite safely.
That could have been replaced if it didn't.
No, it didn't need to. Batsman was safely home. He felt the need to dive. But here is the fielding. He's covering a lot of ground to get there, and all he could do is stick out a foot and kick it. The dog goes for him. Wanted the ball. He seems to have kicked it to his teammate, but no, it hits the rope. And Ashib Alberni turns his back on the fielder. Nice shot by McCabe. He's moved on to 30 off just 17 deliveries. Windy, breezy day building up here at Pembroke this afternoon. And now coming on from the nursery end will be Swift. Dutt's had 2 overs. They've gone for 27, and unsurprisingly, the Clontarf captain has felt the need to go back to a bowler who's been conceding 9 and over.
So 160's out the window, yeah?
It was. They hadn't found the boundary in a while, but these two have picked up the challenge. And with just 12 deliveries remaining now, big blow. Oh, the fielder tried to dive and parry it, and he missed it with his hand, and it's got away for 4. And McCabe means business this over. These 2 batsmen for Pembroke, 2 recent additions to the starring list. And the bounce and the spin on the bounce through the fielder, and all he could do was try and parry it. And at that stage it was too late. His momentum was taking him past, and Pembroke have passed the 150 mark, and they'll be looking for plenty more. McCabe goes dead straight this time, powers it across the boundary, and not even Ryan could get in the way of that. That's away for another 4. And you can see that, wow, very quiet in the field for Clontarf now, and a no ball signalled as well for that delivery. And he goes big, and he goes to Cyril's corner. 6 more to the total. 6 more for this over, and that's 14 off 3 balls.
So quick, it was still on the replay from the last one.
And that's a big blow. Fielder with a token jump, but really it needed a lot more than that. How's Swift going to reply here now? Well, a miss hit from the batsman. Squirts out on the leg side, and despite a look for two, they decide against it, and perhaps wisely. 16 off the first 3 balls, and this change of bowling hasn't quite worked the way Clontarf would have wanted. Swift very close to it. Well, certainly his figures are going to be at over 10 and over. And at this rate, it's going to be a few more than 10. Another 6 onto the clubhouse roof. Score moves on to 169 for 5.
Spot the ball competition.
Well, it disappears at such a rate here. Murphy really got onto this one. And I know I didn't see it, although I saw it in real life.
So knew I was.
But no, that is brilliant work from the Pembroke batsman. This over now has gone for 22, and there's still 2 balls to go. Afternoon, gentlemen. Well, this has been superb from Pembroke. McCabe has moved on to 45 now. He's only faced 21 balls, striking in excess of 200. Well, there's a slight delay while they look for the ball or look for a ball. I think they're unable to find it behind the clubhouse. I think it may have actually bounced on the roof and cleared a garden or two. 2 balls still left in this over for Swift, and he's now gone for 49. 49 off 22 deliveries. Chastening experience for any bowler. Breeze starting to take effect now as the sun disappears behind a bank of cloud. If you are coming down, may I suggest that you follow the Peter Prendergast example and go with coat, long trousers, puffer coat, and perhaps even today the beanie. We apologise for that incorrect. There are the bowling figures, and look at that for Paul Ryan. 2 for 7 off his 4 overs, 1.75, and then you contrast that with some of his colleagues. Well, Murphy now, well, he's only faced 2 deliveries, but he's striking at 350 at the moment. No surprise that Swift is coming round the wicket now. He wants to try something different. However, the way Murphy hit that previous delivery, all he could be doing is bringing the strike round squarer. Better delivery. Swift will be happy with that. Just 1 more to go. He'll really want this to be a dot ball. No bowler wants their figures to be 0 for 50, especially when it's off 4 overs. Oh. And there it is. D. Swift finishes his spell, his 4 overs, 0 for 50. Pembroke have moved on to 170 for 5 as we enter the final over. It's been an entertaining 20 overs. Big hits, few wickets. Lovely catch from Ryan. Good running from the Pembroke players. I don't remember a single mix-up between calls. They've all been simple enough. And there you see what I think is actually quite an impressive worm for Pembroke. And there's the Manhattan. And that over, well, it is the biggest of the innings, but there's a few in there over 12. 5 of the overs over 12. Question also has to be asked, can McCabe get to his half century? He's on strike, he's got every opportunity.
Don't you dare.
I can only apologise for the language of my director. His ire, well, you can see why. Bowlers going round the wicket to left-handers. And we have this slightly, what I would call, Gulliver's long off view. This year's camera just a little bit higher on its settings. Lifted into the leg side. It makes it to the turf safely, and it's just a single. But that does bring McCabe back on strike. Thompson. Does show the value of having wickets in hand at the end of the innings. Pembroke really able to chase the bowling, and this time it squeezes onto the field. It gets away to the clubhouse door for 4 runs, and that's 175 up. And this is a good total from this Pembroke side. Everyone has got in, but a few have gone on. McCabe now has moved on to 49 off just 22 deliveries. Took him a while to get going, but once he's seen it big. Super knock. Just what Joe Prendergast would have wanted. This one, bowled very much down the leg side. McCabe plays it out, square leg. He gets the single. And now you'll hear the applause on the ground. His teammates' applause. A few spectators around the place. And that's a lovely half century for McCabe from just 23 deliveries. This time lifted away on the offside. There's a fielder underneath it. He gets his hands to it and it hits the turf. It just bounced off the palm of his hands. No giving them. And as a result, it rebounded and then found the turf. And that's got to be a bit downheartening for Thompson. Yeah, you could. Murphy goes big this time. There's 2 fielders, there's one picking it out, and he takes the catch. And that's the end of a brief but starry innings from Murphy. He departs with 178 on the board, and there's 1 ball left in the innings, which will be faced by Zach McCabe and you can see
बताओ
he
कहाँ
just
बैठना है, कैमरे के साथ बैठना है, वहाँ बैठना है.
he got too far under that, looking to clear a big corner of the ground, and the fielder came in, set himself beautifully, gave at the knees, gave at the wrists, and held the catch, and that was the end for Sam Murphy. Good knock, Joe will be delighted. And now with just one ball remaining, Pembroke will be looking to get to 180 at least. They'll be hoping for 184, obviously. And they have the right man on strike. No, they don't. They have the new man on strike, of course. One ball to face for Mark Berry. Oh, the recent joiner of Pembroke. Well, yeah. Okay, 178 for 7 as Mark Berry takes an almighty swing, as you should, at the final delivery. But you've put this one on replay. My goodness, he's not going to want to see this again. It's the last ball of the innings, comes down the track, sets himself, big swing, missed, and it takes middle stump clean out of the ground. And that's the end of the Pembroke innings. And they have put together a very nice score of 178 for 7, and you feel that the Pembroke dressing room will be the happier of the two at the break. But one has to mention as well the performance of Paul Ryan. 2 for 7 off his 4 overs. His teammates went for 171 from 16. And he also took a catch and was doing some very neat fielding in front of the clubhouse. Saved a few runs there as well. And there he is, clapping his team in. Well, here is the Pembroke card, the story of the first innings. Tucker and Hogan, well, they put on 57 together. Did very well, got Pembroke off to a great start. Captain Joe Prendergast came in and wielded the willow. And he managed to score it just over a run a ball, 24. Darragh Cosgrave, well, he ended up being the junior partner in a couple of partnerships and never really sort of got going to the same extent, but great to see him out in the middle, and he'll welcome the time out there too. Zach McCabe with that 50 not out ended up sort of taking Pembroke well beyond where they were looking at being from sort of 8 overs out, but he got that 50 in double quick time, and by double quick, more than 2 a ball. 23 deliveries it was to get to that 50. Dan Murray came out, hit a lovely boundary, and then eventually was gone. Well, the Clontarf bowlers, apart from Paul Ryan, what a contrast. One bowler at 1.75 and the next best 7.3. Well, they both took 2 wickets, those two. And Liam Gilhooly and Luke Thompson at the top also picking up wickets. There is the over by over, and that 19th over, well, McCabe really enjoyed himself there. Yeah, those middle overs, those little lumps, the smallest of the Manhattans in the middle, 7, 9, 11 and 13. That's the spell of Paul Ryan. And you can see it very much emphasised by the worm. It just flattened out in that middle 5 overs between 7 and 12, 7 and 13.
Steps.
And then once Ryan had finished his spell, well, then it was just up to the Pembroke batsmen to take that on as much as they could. There is the match summary at this stage. Pembroke seconds have put up a total of 178, and Clontarf seconds will require 179 in their innings, which will begin in about 6 minutes' time. We'll join you at that stage.
cameras. So what do they do?
First thing they do, move the sight screen.
Open with the left.
As we commence this second innings, two teams very sharpish out there. Pembroke almost set their field. The batsmen are certainly ready. They've adjusted the sight screen, and now we're trying to adjust the camera as well. And Clontarf, as you see from rolling at the bottom of your screen, 179 from 20 overs. And that starting run rate they're looking for, 8.95. Many thanks to the 22 of you out there tuned in with us today.
No thanks to Joe Prendergast for opening with the left in
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
descent. Or actually, it might be right arm round.
It looks to me right arm around to the left hand.
Still not allowed.
Delaney it is, taking guard, the left-hander. He's joined by H. Thompson. Bit chilly under the gazebo here today, wrapped up in the big coat. The gilet, the coat. The quarter zip. Played away, just on the offside. Man at point for that, does the fielding. Dot ball. And suddenly the rate required's gone over 9. Big blow down the ground, and that's going to be 4 all the way. What a start. That's exactly the start that Delaney would be hoping to give Clontarf, and Clontarf would be looking for. And that rate won't stay above 9 for very long, obviously. Floated up there, kept an eye on it, and just played it straight back down the ground. Mid-off in the ring, mid-on too far wide to stop that one going under the sight screen. That's how straight it was. This time, better length. Delaney deciding that best just keep that one out. Tossed up again, and it's back to the bowler. He's taken the caught and bowled. Delaney just got onto it all awkwardly, never made proper contact, and it just looped up back to the bowler. He picks up his first wicket. Pembroke pick up theirs. There's only 4 on the board, and Clontarf seconds. First wicket down. Well bowled. My goodness, your figures stand out in that card. 1.75, and the next lowest 7.3. I'll say nothing. Well bowled. And a super catch as well. And that's how McDarragh Cosgrave makes it look very easy, because, well, it was just clothed back to him. And the batsman, Delaney, on his way back, he'd hit that beautiful 4 down the ground. And perhaps that had made his... You think he could take the bowling on. It wasn't to be. He's staying around the wicket, McDarragh Cosgrave, to the right-hander. I just don't think he likes you now. Yeah, it's grand. It's grand. The coverage you provide is absolutely fabulous. Pointer it is then. First ball. Digs that one out. You see it being fielded in front of you. another one, beautiful length. You can see Pointer, you can see him wanting to come out and drive, and these ones are not of that length. And that's a super first over, not only for the bowler and the catcher, but for his entire team. Clontarf now 4 for 1. They need a further 175 from 19 overs. 9 wickets remaining. That's the equation right now. Yeah, well, allow the most of you to win on this occasion, I would suggest. I have to say here and now, I love this coat. I don't care what it looks like when the sun is shining and I'm wearing this full length jacket. It's like wearing a duvet. It'll be our first view on Pembroke TV this year of Mark Berry, recent recruit to the club. Another one who will be wanting to show the selection committee what he's capable of. Put himself in the frame perhaps for first 11 experience this year.
Mike.
Very white cricket boots there on Bruce Whaley, fielding down at third man. Good pace from Berry. He started with 2 dot balls. New shoes? Do not stand on that wire, okay? Firstly, we don't want to just see a pair of shoes with a frazzled U in it. Don't tell him that, though. Short this time, played down. Good work in the field from the Pembroke youngsters. Keep that to a single. Dan Murray with some good fielding, backed up by the aforementioned Bruce Whaley. Short, cut away beautifully. You hear that one crashing into the fence, 4 onto the total, and you just can't bowl that short and that wide to a batsman like Andrew Pointer. This one disappearing like the proverbial tracer bullet, short and wide and slapped to the Pembroke fence. Short again. This time Pointer not getting onto it, in fact getting to it a bit early. Thank you so much. They just came back out after the break so quickly.
Coffee, not mucky water.
Comes down the track to Berry on this occasion. Ball gets past him. It's the end of the over. 5 coming from it. Inside. I have some rather nice little lemon biscuits as well. These aren't just any lemon biscuits. So with 2 overs gone, 9 on the board. That one's lifted into the leg side quite safely. They're going to look for 2. They're going to decide against it. Yesterday was a healthy salad picnic. Today it's junk day. This one squirting out the leg side, fielded quite handily at square leg. Oh, that one's got him. It's good line and length. And it's the length that's done for pointer on this occasion. And McDara Cosgrave has picked up his second. Just couldn't get enough bat on it, and it rolled back and just disturbed the leg side bail. There are now. Inside edge onto his pads, rolled back onto the stump. How unlucky for him, how fortunate for the bowler. And Clontarf find themselves 10 for 2. A bit of a tang, sweet tang to them. So now it's Thompson and Thompson. They are not twins, but neither were the Thompson twins. No. These two aren't even spelt the same way. No. Well, Al Thompson opened the bowling earlier on, now in at number 4. Oh, that one's pitched and bounced. Very well taken behind the stumps. Very neat work then, if it is Sam Murphy back there. Another one. This one hitting the batsman. Super delivery. Clontarf desperately seeking even a single there. No chance, and that's a super over. Just the 2 runs added to the score. And another wicket down. A second for the bowler, a second for the side. That's McDara Cosgrave now. 2 for 6 off 2 overs.
Oh, Lukey.
Change of bowling now at the nursery end. Luke Murray it is. Luke not 100% fit at the moment, but I was speaking with his captain last night. Delighted with the way he's been bowling. Was very impressed with him out in Clontarf. This one just, well, bunted out on the leg side. Yes, the first wicket fall today to McDara for Pembroke was, well, very much an infield fly. It was just bunted back to the bowler. Murray again with good pace, but on this occasion it's pace off the bat that matters. That one crashing into the hedges in front of the scorers, in front of the pavilion. suddenly, well, you understand that Clontarf, they don't want to let that run rate get too big. But 20 over, 40 over, or even test match, you bowl short and wide there, a batsman is going to take you on. Back to the live action now. This one scooped down the ground, and it's going to run away for 4. That really didn't come off the bat the way the batsman wanted. He'd be delighted to get 4 for that. Well, not the start that Luke Murray or Joe Prendergast would have wanted, but he's put his faith in the young lads. And why wouldn't he? Nice straight batting from L. Thompson. Oh, that has been a much better delivery. Murray getting that one to jag back into the batsman's pads, into what I suspect was thigh pad rather than pads. And that took it wide of the keeper. He had very little chance, and it ran away for 4. This one ramped away for 4 more. That's well played. Shot of the day, more extravagant shot of the day. Premeditated. He knew he wanted to take it on. Murray saw him going down to the offside, followed in there, but couldn't prevent the ramped shot, and 4 more. And this time he goes straight. And he's scored 6 for that one, certainly. And Luke Thompson, well, he thoroughly enjoyed the bowling of Luke Murray. Well, his tissue may have fallen from his pocket, but that one just kept on going. So, 10, 22, 23 runs added to the score. 19 of them going down to Luke Murray. Oh, that's a lovely shot. 6 into the gardens, clears the fence, bounces back into the view. And that's a super shot, and 6 more runs. And Luke Thompson has decided this game is not just going to fade away for Clontarf. He's going to take them as far as he possibly can. Super shot. There it is. Another ball comes out. And that's made a mess. 2 deliveries have made a mess of Cosgrave's figures. He was 2 for 6 off 2. And off 2.2, he's now... Oh. Yeah. Well, I hope Pembroke have a good supply of balls if they're going to bowl full tosses on the batsman's, on the batsman's hip, especially in a Tillain Cup game where the required rate was getting very close to 10. Well, they've changed that anyway. .46 for 2 now. .12 from the first 2 deliveries. Can Cosgrave strike back? Much better ball. That one's not going for 6, that's for sure. This one pushed through, again on the hips, but this time just played away. Doesn't reach the boundary. Danny Hogan does the fielding down there. Back into the keeper, keeps it to 2. But already, Clontarf have reached 49. And that brings up the half century with another one into the gardens. And at this stage, you think Pembroke would be well served by actually posting somebody in that garden, because the ball is finding it far too regularly. And that's 55 for 2. Well, one thing is for sure, these tracks that Dale McDonough and his company, GM by choice, are producing this year, absolutely wonderful. Plenty of runs. And there's another one. Just played down to 3rd. And that's a single. And that's the end of that over. Still in the power play. Clontarf really are going for it. At the end of this over, of course, would be the end of the power play, and at that stage we might just bring you the worm. We'll see how things are progressing.
I want to ask him if Mark's coming off, but I can't.
Well, after that expensive over from Luke Murray, unsurprisingly, there's a change. And Captain Joe Prendergast bringing himself into the attack. And this is probably a very smart move by the skipper. He wants to just get a bit more control back into this game and feels that he's the man to do it. And there we go, starting with a dot. That is exactly what Joe would want. Even with the early assault that Clontarf have put on Luke Murray and McDara Cosgrave, they're still looking over 8 and over. Joe Prendergast won't mind the occasional single if it's interspersed with the occasional dot ball. Luke Thompson now 28 off just 13 deliveries. And Henry Thompson facing, moving on to 17 off 9. And Joe Prendergast, as I say, just looking for a little bit of control. Batsman safely home. Again, showing the chances, the opportunities that could come Pembroke's way now. Just a single results, one squeezing through. This is starting to look like a very useful over for Pembroke and for Joe Prendergast. However, as Clontarf found out, one economical bowler an innings does not make. Lovely delivery to finish his first over. To finish the power play, just 4 coming from it, 4 singles. Captain Joe once again leading from the front. As promised, as we come to the end of the power play, you can see, well, Clontarf, those first 3 overs were well down under that Pembroke line. In fact, in the last 3 overs, they went above it as well. But that over from Joe Prendergast has made a difference. And at the power play, Clontarf do find themselves just a little bit behind. Change of bowling, the umpire making sure that the scorers are well aware of that. And with 14 overs to go, Clontarf need 119. Luckily for you and me, the TV screen shows that that's 8.5 and over. Well, we saw Mark Berry in his first over, going for 6. Prendergast looking for him to do the same again now. Good pace. I think he'll enjoy himself bowling more from the St John's end than the nursery end. Played away off the edge of the back, quite deliberately down to third man. Fielder there, will just be a gentle single. Again, Pembroke won't mind that at the moment. Lovely Sunday afternoon in Sydney Parade today, although I see a few, shall we say, darker clouds off to the left. As Berry again beats the batsman for pace, thudding into the keeper's gloves. Cool breeze blowing across the ground. Beautiful sunshine at the moment. And nicely fielded. Dale McDonough. A fine piece of fielding in the covers. Likes to make that spot his own. This one played out wide of McDonough this time. And it's McDarragh that does the fielding. Better take one for your mum as well. Whether she gets it or not, I won't know. Well, that's a good over from Berry. Just 4 runs coming from it. Slightly slowing the impetus of the Clontarf innings. Clontarf in reply, of course, to Pembroke's first innings total. And you can see this game is not over by a long stretch either way. Very much in the balance. Change of bowling now at the nursery end. B. Whaley. Bruce Whaley it is. Another off spinner coming on. Last year he took a 5-er, I remember, from this nursery end. Something else to show the batsman, something different. Good afternoon, ladies.
Where are we on?
Bruce Whaley sets his field. Joe Prendergast discards Bruce's jumper. And the over begins. Just touched into the leg side, it will just be a single. Again, just dropped into the leg side off the hip. Another single taken. This is very steady. And it's important for Clontarf. If you score off every ball, the boundaries will come around those. This time, taken on the full. Powered out on the offside, but straight to the diving fielder. McDonough again saving runs. Pulled away into the leg side, and there is a fielder there, and he takes the catch. And it's McDonough Cosgrave again. You can't keep him off the scoreboard at the moment. He takes the catch. Whaley picks up a wicket. Pembroke pick up their third. The score is 66 for 3. And Clontarf, well, each wicket falling is leaving them with more and more of an uphill battle. 12 and a half overs to go, and they need over 9 and over. Really a little cramped for room, couldn't get the full power onto it, just lifted it out there. And McDonough Cosgrave, well, he takes those in training all the time, and you'd expect him to take those in a match, and he did. And that was the third wicket to fall, and that was Henry Thompson. He's now departed, and Pembroke will start feeling a little bit better. Clontarf 3 wickets down, just 66 on the board. Well, the milk chocolate raisins, the bubbly mint Aldi bar, other ones obviously are available. Fruit and nut from Aldi, and more Belgian milk chocolate raisins. The delights in front of me today, and lemon mini wafer squares. Well, they know how to keep me filled up with sugar anyway. Bruce Whaley continues. Slides down the leg side. Bruce perhaps of the mind that it went through where the batsman had been standing. That's better. And that's a good over, and another over falls by. Just 12 remaining now. The Clontarf are going to start feeling some real scoreboard pressure soon. It's Vickers and Thompson. There is their card so far. Andrew Pointer will be very disappointed. Played one onto his pads and his foot, and it rolled back onto his stumps. Whereas Bruce Whaley picking up the wicket of Henry Thompson with a long hop. The attempted ramp from first delivery. Well, he's showing some intent, but I think it's showing that he doesn't feel confident in taking the ball anywhere else. He's just looking for a deflection or an edge or, yeah. I'd rather see him playing positively. He's edged that one. It's beaten the keeper, and the keeper could only parry it to the rope. 4 runs, but you watch this again, and there's a definite edge, and the keeper just couldn't get across to it. Wide ball, edged, and it's that edge that just took it away. Couldn't get his hand down far enough. and flew away to the boundary. Well, if your wicketkeeper can't take them, make sure you take the next one. And that's exactly what he's done. Just soft shot, halfway through it, played back, and it's landed back in Berry's hands. And Mark Berry picks up his first wicket. And suddenly Clontarf in a bit of trouble, 71 for 4. Well, here's the replay.
Dodgy camera change.
Just catches the inside edge of the bat, no real power in it. And it went straight back to the bowler, took it over his left shoulder. And you see the smile of contentment at having opened his Pembroke account. "13 for 1, 2.5 overs. Well, the undoubted star of the Clontarf side in the first innings, his bowling was frugal and effective. 7 for 2 from his 4 overs. Add to that a very athletic diving catch.
Would it be red right?
Somebody playing around by the sight screen. End of the net, just in the wrong place. Ryan coming in at number 6 for Clontarf. And just waving his bat at his first delivery. Probably not the wisest thing to do, Mr. Ryan. But he knows his side need runs and quick runs too. Thought he could just run that one down to third perhaps. Plenty of room down there. There is a fielder just off screen. Big swing on this occasion. Leant back in his stride there. Wide feet. Cleared the front foot somewhat. Back came through quite straight. But down the wrong line. The ball safely through to the keeper. Beautiful drive. Checked drive on the offside. Captain Joe Prendergast does the fielding, and he prevents anything other than a single just by getting it in quickly. Now Bruce Whaley again as we take a quick look at the bowling figures. Well, Luke Murray won't want to look at that too fondly, so we won't concentrate on that, but rather on the excellence of Bruce Whaley, Joe Prendergast, Mark Berry, who have all kept it under 5s. And just the 7 extras from 4 overs, when 4 of them were 4-leg byes. 107 required now, off the last 11 overs. It's Bruce Whaley is going to bowl the last over of the third quarter. Pulls that one in short. It's padded round the corner by Ryan. His partner offers him a single. He declines it. Again, a little bit short, and it beats the field around the corner. But the leg side sweeper does his job. Firing it back in. Most excellent. This one just tugged around to the leg side. Fielders converging. We'll make sure there's no boundary, and that's what Whaley wants. He doesn't mind the singles. He just doesn't want to be conceding the big shots, the big boundaries. 10 and over required now. This time Ryan does go big. He's pulled it down towards the Wheelfield Gate area. And he ends up getting a single for it. He spent the first 5 seconds watching the ball, expecting it to reach the boundary. It didn't. And by the time he set off, there was only time for 1 run for such a big shot. Vickers it is now. That one just must have been missing off stump by the merest of fractions of small measurements. This one played out by Vickers on the leg side. Murray in to stop the run. It's the end of the over. 5 runs coming from it. That's excellent from Bruce Whaley. 8 for 1 from his 2 overs. Change of bowling now at the St John's end. Dan Murray. Well, the Clontarf batsman took a liking to his brother's bowling earlier on. $102 required now. 6 wickets in hand. And we enter the final quarter of this match. One does feel that Pembroke are in the box seat. It's going to take some exceptional batting from Clontarf now. 10 and overs. Is it sustainable for 10 overs if you're not in the IPL? Well, Dan has gone short and Ryan is onto it very quickly, and that runs away for 6. Another one onto the roof. And that takes Clontarf less than 100 required. Too short. Ryan's onto it. You're not going to get steepling bounce. That's much better from Murray. He doesn't like being hit for 6s like that. That makes a big difference. Every dot ball, big help to Pembroke now. That one getting past Ryan. Yep, he's looking wistfully down to 3rd. Man in the circle. If you can beat the man in the circle, it's close enough that pretty much anything's going to run away. They need 95 off 9.1. Still the same over. $95 off 55. It's going to be some chase. Vickers. Well, the field has been dropped back for him. One suggests that Pembroke would be more than happy for Vickers to get a single here. They see Ryan as the danger man, and why wouldn't you? Well, he's played that one nicely out into the deep, but the Pembroke plan works. They just take a single, Ryan is at the non-striker's end. And there is the worm comparison. So you can see Clontarf are not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. Bruce Whaley now will be into his third over. Dan Murray's over, as you can see on your screen, going for 8. Vickers trying to give himself plenty of room. He wants to hoik it out to the leg side, not to be on this occasion. Call of weight from Ryan. Quite insistent, and quite rightly so. That was not one to take a single to. This time, hoiked into the leg side. It's saved on the boundary. And they keep it down to 1. Well, I suspect that Paul Ryan won't be too unhappy that that was kept to 1. It brings him on to strike. He's 12 from 11. Bruce Whaley now bowling very neatly. Just taking a moment to tie his shoelace. Ryan can do nothing but pat that out in the offside. Take the single. 2 deliveries left. You get the feeling that the field will spread again. If not this ball, then for the last ball. And Vickers goes big. It's in the air. It's going to fall short of the fielder. They will take the single, and that leaves Paul Ryan with just 1 to come in the over, and he'll be keen. Now the field should be on its toes, tight. They're just leaving too much room here on the offside. I feel that he's just going to drop it down and take the single and make sure he retains the strike for the next over. That's exactly what he does. Drops it down to 3rd. He's actually going to look for 2. Dan Murray, it is keeping it inside. He gets it back in quickly, but Vickers has made his ground very safely. And that is the end of the over. And that's exactly what Clontarf were looking for. 3 off the final delivery. This is an earlier replay. Bruce Whaley. Great effort. Wasn't quite there, but did a great thing in going for it and saving the boundary. Off his chest, could easily have been his face. But it wasn't on this occasion. And now looking to tighten the screws. Joe Prendergast bringing himself back.
Joey.
McDarragh heading out to the Willfield Road gate. Out deep 3rd, wide 3rd. Prendergast comes into bowl. Field well spread. On the first one, he parries, and the work is tidied up. And that's a dot ball. And the runs per over now in excess of 11. We're nearly needing 2 a ball. Every dot ball very definitely a victory for Pembroke now. And that's another one. Ryan looking to drive at that, not getting his foot across. Joe Prendergast, this is going to be a special ball. Floating, oh, it's in the air. He probably it's taken on the full by Ryan. It's another single. Joe won't mind that. Now the field on the leg side coming in for Vickers. Men back out on the fence. Dan Murray with a fine bit of fielding, taking it on the first bounce and ensuring not even a single taken. And now he goes back to the fence. Field well spread for Vickers. He is going for his shots, just like that. And this one squirts out square leg. The boundary is saved. One onto the total. Big swing from Ryan, doesn't connect, goes through to the keeper to finish the over, just two coming from it. And that does leave Clontarf now in a situation where they need more than two a ball. Bruce Whaley now will bowl his final over as Joe Prendergast quite happily, after bowling 2 overs for his side, he's only conceded 6 runs, and that's leading by example, picking up the baton at the right time, knowing when to come on to bowl, why he's saving himself or saving other players for later on in this innings. 4 down now. Again, big swing from Vickers, not with any great effect, certainly with no timing. And that means that it just rolls out, no single, another dot ball for Whaley. This one pushed into the pitch, it is pulled out to the leg side. Ryan is thinking of 2, there's no chance of 2 to that fielder. Zach McCabe doing a great job out there on the railway line. Not literally, of course. Some younger members of the community, not quite aware of sight screen etiquette yet, delaying this delivery. Ryan this time clubs it round, and that's going to beat all fielders' attempts, even Zach McCabe's. And Bruce Whaley, well, he's disappointed with himself. Pulled down, Ryan saw it and pounced on it. And that was hit with such power that even a stumbling Zach McCabe couldn't do anything to prevent it reaching the boundary. Well, it puts a little bit of a dint into Bruce's figures, but not too much still. 1 for 19 from 3.5. He's 3 balls remaining in his spell, in his allocation. That's better. That's just the reply he wanted. A dot ball. Another one pushed into the pitch, and another one that is just clothed really out to long on. Another single. And this isn't enough for Clontarf. They're going to start finding themselves falling behind on the worm. 1 ball left in this over. 1 more legitimate ball left in this over. And that one getting through. Bruce Whaley finishes his spell. 1 for 21 from 4 overs. And his captain will be delighted with that. 100 up for Clontarf now. 6 overs to go. 79 more runs required. A lot of it on the shoulders of Paul Ryan, who is 22 off 20 deliveries. And his partner Vickers, well, he's having many a good swing. He should really be looking to get bat on ball. 1 for 21. Prendergast, well, on this occasion, too long in his length. And it went straight back, practically over his head to the boundary. 4 more for Ryan. And goes again, but on this occasion there's a fielder there, but he's put it down. Just a dot ball in the end. Ryan doesn't even take the single. Almost to Ryan's advantage on this occasion, that the ball landed in no man's land, came off the toe of his bat, didn't have the power to reach the fielders out in the fence. And they didn't have the speed to come in and intercept it on the fly. So Ryan picks up another 2, and he's starting to open that gap between runs and balls faced. And he's going to have to do a little bit more of that as well. This time he goes big on the leg side. And that reaches the boundary, and that's 4 more runs. And just as the Pembroke innings accelerated, so the Clontarf one is too. Ryan doing a fabulous job for Clontarf seconds at the moment. 32 now from just 24 deliveries. And he goes big again. Another 4. And he's taken a liking now to Joe Prendergast. "14 off this over." They've just gone for a run of ball on the first spell. This one hit back down the ground again. And 4 more, and Ryan really is determined to take Clontarf as close as he can to this Pembroke total. This one hit down to Mark Berry. He was in, got set, and then it just threw his hands into the belly, and he couldn't keep it from obeying the laws of gravity. Paul Ryan by himself doing his best to bring Clontarf back into this game. 5 overs to go, 61 required. Over 12 and over 2 a ball. And Joe Prendergast has returned to McDarrah Cosgrave. Vickers it is who's facing. You'd think that his instruction would be get the single. And with just 5 overs remaining in this thrilling clash. Short from McDarrah, it's hooked away into the leg side. Zach McCabe does the fielding. Good result for Clontarf. Only a single is a good result for Pembroke, but it does bring Paul Ryan onto strike. One of the old guard not wearing a helmet. That hasn't stopped him hooking and pulling his way. 40 now off 26 deliveries. This one, Yorker chipped out. And that's a well-run couple of runs for Clontarf. And you can sense that there's a bit of hope on the sidelines now. No. Back to live action. And this time, maybe the energy expended running the two meant that the next ball, well, it was a dot. Dara unflappable as usual. Doesn't matter whether you hit his delivery for 6 or block it out. He's unflappable. This time it goes straight down the ground. The catch is taken. Dermot Tucker with the high five with his captain Joe Prendergast celebrates the departure of Vickers for 7. But he played a vital role in this partnership with Paul Ryan. But now the score 122 for 5. He took on the full toss, didn't get all of it, and it meant that Dermot Tucker just scooped it up and high-fived his skipper. Well, his 5 against the skipper's 10. One delivery left in this over, and then there'll be 4 more. So 25 deliveries to go. And 57 runs required. One feels that the rain's going to have to be pretty heavy to stop them completing this game now. Sure, Pembroke are ahead on DRS, DLS, ABC, VAR. Hit back down the ground. Dutt it is who's come in. And with 4 overs to go, 57 required. It's going to take some big hitting, and one feels that most of that big hitting is going to have to come from Paul Ryan. Mark Berry it is, returning from the St John's end. The equation now, 57 from 24 at 14 and a quarter and over. The imperial measurements still useful sometimes. This one hit straight down the ground. They'll be looking for 2. Dutt calls for 2. And they change their mind with a very accurate throw. Well, the news is quite old. Haven't got to it until now. But I see the 4th 11 have proved victorious out in Pembroke. The scoreboard I see is 66 for 6 off 15, but then later on the comments suggest that the Fourths have returned to winning ways. Gordon, congratulations. Berry now coming into bowl. His pace might trouble Dutt. Another single. Oh, it goes away for the boundary. Not the easiest place to field in a tight run chase down on the fence. Going to see plenty of action there. And Dutt moves on to 4 from just 2 deliveries. Berry pulls out of that one. for reasons unknown. And this one, beautiful delivery, goes through the batsman, through to the wicket-keeper. And a dot ball, just what Berry needed. .127 for 5 now, in pursuit of Pembroke's 178. But with only 3.5 overs to go and only 5 wickets left, Clontarf in a bit of trouble. This one just pushed down the ground. Bruce Whaley will do the fielding, and even I in the commentary box now getting the first drops of moisture. Well, Ryan on this occasion actually doing very well not to edge that through to the keeper. .50 up then for Ryan. 50 off 32 deliveries. Super knock. He certainly has been player of the game as far as Clontarf is concerned. Pembroke's efforts far more of a team effort, whereas Clontarf, well, without his 2 for 7, 7 for 2. No harm to have that like that, though. It's blocking the wind, if nothing else. The gazebo wall's coming up a little bit. Little bit of a discussion between captain, bowler and interested party. Vice-captain Dale McDonough. Sight screen to be moved now. Mobile enough, these sight screens. That's it, that's it. Whoa, 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 whoa. So Luke Murray, after conceding 19 in his first over, how's he going to respond now? .15 and over required now. And even that increases as they take a single. Ryan now, half century to his name, looking to be the saviour of Clontarf. Turns down a single. He knows it's all on him, and it's all on big hits now. It's not the first single he's turned down. Gets hold of this one, but it's Zach McCabe. He's done a very efficient job out there, and he's got a good arm. Keeps it to a single. Ryan now thinking he should have taken the first one as a single. Yep. Dot now facing Luke Murray. It's edged. It beats the fielder. He's racing down towards us, and it beats the cameraman as well. 4 off the edge of the bat. Dutt making the most of his fortune there. 4 runs down through third man. This one taken on the full, chipped out in the offside, and it's another boundary. And Dutt is proving his absolute worth here. Hits the 6, moves on to 16 from just 7 deliveries. And rather than being the yeah, yes. Yes. This time, just played away on the offside. Just be a single. That will end the over. 13 from it. Big help for Clontarf, but not the 15 they required. That has now moved up to 16 as they require 32 runs from just 2 overs. Well, look at that. Absolutely neck and neck at this stage, which just goes to show you how well Pembroke did in those last 2 overs of their innings. There are the bowling figures thus far. Bruce Whaley, the standout there, 1 for 21, but the economy rate 5.25. So there's 12 balls remaining now. And Pembroke have to stop Clontarf scoring 32 runs. It's certainly, almost certainly, going to go to the last over either way. .147 for 5, 32 required, 12 balls to go. It's up in the air, player going for it is McDarragh. He can't get to it before it pitches, and it's just a single. And for the first ball of these last 12, Dutt's intention's absolutely clear, just getting underneath it, trying to lift it. On this occasion, safely, they take a single. Ryan it is now. He's the one with the half century to his name. He's got his eye in. Balls that one round to the leg side. It crashes into the fence just in front of the chapel. And that is not the start to the over that Joe Prendergast really wanted. Another big blow. This one's going all the way. Straight onto the benches. 6 more. 11 off the first 3 deliveries. And is Ryan timing this beautifully? Another one, and this one just making contact with the bat. Take the single. 20 required now. From just 8 deliveries. The tension here is something else. This one brought out to square leg. The fielder picks it up. They'll save 3 runs there. Just 1 taken. 160 on the board. Well, this has been a thrilling game, and it's been the batting of Paul Ryan that has kept Clontarf in this. Again, another one where perhaps the timing wasn't there. It was a tired swing of the bat, brings him a single. And that's the end of that over, and that leaves Clontarf seconds needing 18 for victory from the final over. Now, who is Captain Joe Prendergast turning to? Again, you see Ryan eyeing up the third man area. Don't be surprised if he tries to run one down there. But by and large, he's going to be looking big. He needs to connect for the maximum for 3 of these deliveries. Line and length here from Murray should be enough. Pulled out on the leg side, looking for the boundary. It's not there. Ball comes back in. They take the single. Getting into a difficult situation here now for Clontarf. 17 required from 5 balls. Bowler checking with his captain. Are they happy with the field? Obviously he knows what he wants to bowl. The question is, can he? Wide ball. Quite rightly signalled wide. This Tillain Cup clash has come down to the final 5 balls. Clontarf requires 16. And there's one of them. 4 fours can still do it for them. Luke Murray, he's been expensive in his first 2 overs, but he's doing exactly what his captain wanted here. He's not allowing any boundaries thus far. 4 balls to go then. 15 required. Ryan again makes sure he makes contact, lifts it out on the leg side. Zach McCabe again doing the fielding. He really has done a super job out there. But on this occasion, a slight fumble allowed Clontarf to get through for 2. 13 off 3. We're in the territory now where at least one of these has to go for a 6. Three balls for Luke Murray to ensure Pembroke's victory in this game. It's been a tight, tense game, and it's bubbled up into a brilliant finish. Again, Ryan to exactly the same spot, and on this occasion, Zach McCabe makes the catch, and Paul Ryan departs for a well-made 66. He kept Clontarf in it until the very end, and now, with his dismissal, Clontarf requires snookers. 13 required from 2 balls.
Get a super over for 12?
No, we don't get a super over. More's the pity. Again, Ryan shoveling it out to the leg side, and on this occasion, Zach McCabe, he's been brilliant out there all day. He's been running up and down that line, and on this occasion, made sure of the catch, as Paul Ryan gets the well-deserved ovation of his teammates and the spectators on the sidelines, and departs for his well-made 66. Clontarf now on 166 for 6. 2 balls remaining, 13 required. And for those of you mathematically minded, that would be a run rate of 39 and over. Even 2 sixes here isn't going to be enough. New batsman in, S. Khan. And he's been left with an impossible task. So, good win for the fourths today. Excellent win for the firsts yesterday. Thirds won yesterday. It's been a good weekend for Pembroke Cricket Club. And a good weekend for our co-owners of this ground, Monkstown Rugby Club. They've qualified. They beat Bangor yesterday, and they've qualified for the AIL next year. As Luke Murray comes in with 2 balls to go. Oh, and that beats everyone. Batsman had a go at it, missed it. It went over the stumps and completely fooled the keeper. He'd gone the wrong way, and this one got past him on the bounce, and what a bounce it was. Bounces over the stumps, off the toe, and was it worth an appeal? Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm not asking whether it was out or not, but was it worth an appeal? Last ball of the game, 9 required. Pembroke just need to get this one down without it being a wide or a no ball. And they manage that, and they complete the victory by 9 runs. And that's a fine game of cricket brought to us by 2 good teams. Pembroke and Clontarf both have very strong second 11s, as to be expected. Both clubs signing new members in the last couple of weeks, and that is certainly strengthening the standard of second team cricket. It makes a big difference. Good win for Pembroke. It was that assault at the end, really, that saw them home. Zach McCabe deserves to be named man of the match, not only for that catch of Paul Ryan at the end, but also for his quick-fire runs at the end of the Pembroke innings. That very much has been the difference between these 2 teams. Not a day for bowlers. Another day to thank our ground staff, Dale and his many men. As they've provided us with yet another wicket that has provided us with 350 runs in 40 overs. And an absolutely cracking game of cricket. Well, that's it for Pembroke's broadcast over the weekend. 3 games covered this weekend. More subscribers on board. If you're still with us, please do consider liking and subscribing to this channel. We do have a self-imposed target of 1,000 as soon as possible. We are up to 860 the last I looked. And if anybody was interested on sponsoring Pembroke's stream to any sort of financial extent, then certainly we'd be open to talks as to what we could offer you. Well, thank you very much for tuning in today. We hope that you enjoyed this 1 T20 today, and we wish you the best for the coming week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday down in the club sees the Interprovincial T20 Festival. 2 games of T20 cricket on each day, weather depending. And you get to see the finest cricketers in the country. Well, there's the Clontarf bowling card, and not pretty reading for them. 3 of their bowlers going for more than 2 a ball. And there's the Clontarf batting. Paul Ryan really the standout. Luke Thompson did well, 35 from his 22 before he just clothed one back to the bowler he'd be disappointed with. And Henry Thompson at the top did well for his 21 of 16. Pembroke bowling. Well, they only had 1 bowler who went for more than 2 a ball, and that was Luke Murray today, and he picked up 1 for 37. Mudara Cosgrave, well, 3 for 32. Probably went for more runs than he would have liked, but he picked up those 3 wickets and did so at the vital times. Only 13 extras, which is a marked improvement on some of the games we've seen here this season so far. And there is the worm with Clontarf just falling short as a result of that Pembroke assault at the end of their innings. Last 2 overs for Pembroke providing an awful lot of runs. There is the match summary. Man of the match, Zach, with his 50 off 23. Zach McCabe, he'll be delighted with that. Danny Hogan with 32 from 21, and Joe Prendergast, the captain, again leading by example. Well, that ends today's broadcast. Thank you very much again, and please do like and subscribe. Every little helps. We will talk to you again on Sunday. Saturday is a friendly being played here, and I'm hoping that Niall will take the day off. not covering it.
Friendly.
Yeah.
Certainly sounds like it.
So Saturday off for Niall and myself and my co-commentators. But we'll be back on Sunday and, of course, Bank Holiday Monday. So we hope you join us then. In the meantime, feel free to peruse the videos on the channel. And as I say, every subscription helps. Thanks very much and good night.